I don't ask for none of this. I ain't ask for my mama to go through this, bro.
And it's serious right now, like.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Nigga, I was on the floor crying last night, bro.
Listen, bro. Don't let that
Nah, nigga, my mama, man.
Don't let that you, bro.
Man, I got people trying to be in my business about the baby and stuff. You know, we got baby mama number 2 mad. Like, I don't know what I did to her. And then my mom, cause she going through it. I mean, and then
what point do I really just say all this? I'm like robbing myself out of just moments in my life because of my loyalty to somebody who never really truly held me down in any capacity.
Scott, why you ain't talk to her all day?
Because that's what we do.
I told her I was going through something last night. I said, yo,
I said, I'm trying to understand what's happening.
My mother is dying.
You being hella dramatic.
I'm really just quiet, period. I ain't even got the strength to do this.
You done talk about me to everybody around this motherfucker.
You done talk about me. You done talk about me. You done hold you down. I done held you down. And I down. But you know what? You know what?
Go away.
You know what? You away.
Saw that. I ain't going nowhere, and that's why you mad. That's why you really mad.
I'm not mad at you, Bam. I really love you.
A captivating love story took place in the center of Atlanta, where the streets are alive with hip-hop beats and the air is heavy with ambition. Rap artist Lil Scrappy was a rising star, and his personal life was becoming as much of a spectacle as his music. A beautiful model and businesswoman whose poise and self-assurance made her stand out, Bambi Benson was at the heart of this tale. Following their union, the two became one of the most talked-about couples in the entertainment industry. Their romance resembled a scene from a movie with the ideal balance of chemistry, passion, and hardship. Bambi's grace and poise grounded Lil Scrappy, who was known for his rough and unrepentant rhymes, in a surprising way. They were an unlikely but alluring combination that complemented one another like fire and water. But on Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, their romance was exposed for the world to see, not just for them to treasure. Fans were able to observe their fast-paced relationship up close, as they argued, laughed, and reconciled in a cycle that was both thrilling and draining. Everything seemed ideal at first. Bambi, who is known for being strong and independent, displayed a different side when she was with Scrappy, and Scrappy's rough edges softened around her. Together, they brought out the best in each other. Together, they managed the turmoil of celebrity as a cohesive team. However, as their romantic tale unfolded before the cameras, rifts started to appear beneath the surface. Relationships are always impacted by fame, especially those that are already struggling with personal issues. Every argument, disagreement, and mistake was amplified due to the ongoing scrutiny of their romantic life. The media analyzed their every action, fans conjectured, and rumors started to circulate. Rumors of adultery began to permeate their world, escalating late-night arguments that were now open to the public rather than just the two of them. Being in the spotlight all the time started to wear on people. Over time, the seemingly unbreakable bond began to show signs of strain. Love evolved into bitterness, passion into furious arguments. Fans had been able to see their romance through the same reality show, but now it was showing the cracks in their relationship. In addition to the tension, there was no denying the chemistry.
You blocked her after me and you started back being cool, so she want to know why you blocked her.
I seen how y'all going. I was like, I'm not even part of this.
But you know what, Scrap? I will tell you this. You're wrong because you was flirting with her for a very long time.
You said I was flirting with her?
Why was that wrong?
Show it.
Don't flirt with the don't flirt with the friends. Don't flirt with the people in the circle.
I just want everybody to know I don't give a who Scrap flirts with, okay? He's free to flirt with whoever the he want to flirt with.
once again.
After that, their love story ended tragically, as was to be expected. There was no silence during the breakup. Emotions were running high, and feelings were exposed for millions to see as it happened in public. Losing Bambi was a shock to Scrappy for which he was unprepared. He felt as though his tough exterior, the same self-assurance that had helped him overcome obstacles in the music industry, was a mask that was barely able to conceal his suffering. Scrappy had a hard time controlling his feelings. He didn't try to hide the breakup because it was too heavy. In heartfelt, remorseful, and yearning messages, he turned to his fans. He wasn't afraid to express how much Bambi's absence from his life affected him. The man who used to rap about strength and resiliency suddenly freely acknowledged his anguish. His social media updates turned into candid declarations, brimming with unfiltered feelings that depicted a man who had lost something priceless. He not only conveyed his suffering in one especially poignant post, but he also pleaded. He begged Bambi to return so they could try to put things right again. His remarks' vulnerability resonated with his fans. Having witnessed him at his best, they were now seeing him at his worst. However, there were others who had thoughts about the split besides Scrappy. His mother, Mama D, was the voice that loomed huge behind the scenes. Mama D was constantly outspoken about Scrappy's relationships and was a strong influence in his life. She wished for them to return to one another since she thought they were in love. Scrappy's voice faltered as he described his mother's aspirations and her wish to reunite their family. Mama D's words were powerful, and her influence was indisputable. She wasn't just talking for herself. She was echoing the opinions of fans who thought Scrappy and Bambi should be together. Her appeal gave Scrappy's heartbreak an even more pressing sense of urgency, as though family could mend the wounds more effectively than love alone. Bambi, though, didn't react as fast. Bambi was calm while Scrappy's feelings were clearly visible to everyone. She avoided public back and forth and handled herself with dignity. She could have said something, but her silence spoke louder than words. It wasn't that she didn't experience the hurt of the split. It's possible that she simply came to terms with it differently than Scrappy did. She didn't express regret in her post. She stayed out of the conjecture. She instead went on, concentrating on her own course. She kept it hidden from the world as she was in pain. For her, healing didn't require an audience. But the world wasn't ready to move on just yet. Fans, media outlets, and bloggers scrutinized every move, every cryptic message, and every interview. Nobody could predict what the last chapter would bring because the separation had become a spectacle, a drama being told in real time. Did reconciliation remain a possibility? Could love heal the wounds, or had pressure and celebrity torn them apart for good? The unresolved questions lingered in the air, and the rumors just got stronger over time. Scrappy's entire universe seems to have been upended. Once confidently commanding the stage, the man was now drowning in sorrow. His life was left empty after the separation, and despite his best efforts, he was unable to fill it. Every location, memory, and small detail brought up memories of Bambi. Even though he had always been the tough guy and never showed emotion, this time was different. He couldn't disguise his grief this time. Fans witnessed Lil Scrappy as a man who was utterly broken by love, not merely as a rapper or reality TV personality.
I don't ask for none of this. I ain't asked for my mama to go through this, bro.
And it's serious right now, like.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Nigga, I was on the floor crying last night, bro.
Listen, bro. Don't let that
Nah, nigga, my mama, man.
Don't let that put you, bro.
Man, I got people trying to be in my business about the baby and stuff. You know, we got baby mama number 2 mad. Like, I don't know what I did to her. And then my mom, cause she going through it. I mean, and did
What point do I really just say all this? I'm like robbing myself out of just moments in my life because of my loyalty to somebody who never really truly held me down in any capacity.
Scott, why do we talk to her all day?
Because that's what we do.
I told her I was going through something last night. I said, yo,
And I said, I'm trying to understand what's happening.
My mother is dying.
You being hella dramatic.
I'm really just quiet, period. I ain't even got the strength to do this.
You done talk about me to everybody around this motherfucker.
You done talk about me. You done talk about me. You done hold you down. I done held you down. And I down. But you know what? You know what?
Go away.
You know what? You away.
Saw that. I ain't going nowhere, and that's why you mad. That's
Okay.
why you really mad.
I'm not mad at you, ma'am. I really love you.
Yeah, okay.
He began posting dramatic confessions on Instagram, replete with painful observations and late-night thoughts. He didn't hold back. He addressed his mistakes, his sorrows, and his love for Bambi. He talked about how much he missed her and how much he wanted he could go back in time and make things right. One post in particular stood out from the others. It was a plea, not just another message about heartbreak. A desperate, unvarnished plea for Bambi to return to his life. He didn't hesitate to plead or to express his feelings to the public. It was a hitherto undiscovered aspect of Scrappy. The gruff, self-assured rapper had vanished to be replaced by a man who would stop at nothing to win love. With remorse in his voice, he said, "I know I made a mistake. But Bambi, if you're reading this and you're out there, know that I love you and always will. Please, let's chat. Let's work this out." Fans provided a variety of responses in the comments section. There were many who felt sorry for Scrappy and commended him for being forthright and honest about emotions. Others believed that love, once damaged, couldn't always be repaired and that it was too late. But Mama D's voice was the most unexpected in this case, and she wasn't a fan. In Scrappy's life, his mother had always had a commanding position and was never afraid to voice her thoughts about his relationships. This time was no exception. Mama D publicly expressed her desire for Scrappy and Bambi to get back together rather than merely supporting him in secret. She expressed how much she loved Bambi, sent sincere letters, and even alluded to her secret efforts to reunite with her. Her statement, "They belong together," was captured in a moving live video. "Although I acknowledge that mistakes were made, I have seen my kid give this woman his whole heart. Love like this doesn't happen very frequently. If there's a chance, I only hope Bambi notices." Her remarks fueled the already raging rumors. The question that fans started to wonder was whether Scrappy and Bambi could ever reunite. Or was it a figment of Mama D's imagination? However, Bambi stayed quiet while Scrappy and his mother expressed their emotions. She never replied to his posts. She didn't respond to Mama D's remarks. She didn't contribute to the drama. Rather than letting the world see her suffering, she carried herself with calm strength. It felt like the healing process had already started for Bambi. She was focused on the future, but Scrappy was lost in her past. She pushed deeper into her business efforts, spent more time with close friends, and worked on rebuilding her life outside of the partnership that had formerly defined so much of her public persona. But that didn't stop the world from speculating. Every single item she posted was examined for hidden messages. If she shared a statement about love, viewers would assume it was about Scrappy. If she shared a photo of herself in a pleasant mood, people might question whether she was attempting to convey that she had moved on. Then there were the gossips. The rumors that Scrappy and Bambi had been seen together at private gatherings started to circulate. Others insisted they were attempting to resolve the matter behind the scenes, while others said they had seen them conversing in a club. An old video that showed Scrappy and Bambi enjoying a touching moment before their breakup only served to fuel the rumors. Scrappy was heard saying to Bambi in the video, "You'll always have a piece of my heart, no matter what happens." The video's reemergence drove fans into a frenzy. Were they truly gone? Or did they still have unresolved matters to discuss? Neither Bambi nor Scrappy provided a definitive response, despite the never-ending conjecture. No public statements or affirmations were made. There was only quiet. Scrappy, meanwhile, poured his heart into his songs. For artists, heartbreak had always been a potent source of inspiration, and Scrappy was no exception. He started writing new songs, letting his suffering show in the lyrics. The lyrics of one of his songs, which fans conjectured was about Bambi, struck a deep chord. "I see your face in every crowd, but I can't reach you now. I lost the best thing I ever had. Tell me how to turn this around." The song quickly became popular, with fans searching for hidden meanings in every word. Some interpreted it as a letter of love to Bambi, while others saw it as a release. However, Bambi kept her attention on herself. On her own, she was creating something that was unrelated to Scrappy. She had never needed a guy to define her success, but now she was demonstrating to the world, and to herself, that she was capable of being self-sufficient. Still, some people clung to hope in spite of everything. For some admirers, the broken could be repaired with time. That love always manages to find its way back, even when it appears to be lost. Some thought that Scrappy and Bambi had reached the end of their adventure and had both moved on permanently. However, their love tale would never be easily forgotten, regardless of the passage of time. People weren't yet ready to let go of the feelings, the passion, and the heartache that had all been displayed in public. Both Scrappy and Bambi remained silent, but their narrative was not forgotten by others around them. Fans were analyzing every social media post in an effort to find hints or any indication that the two might still be related. Despite the public dissolution of their partnership, their emotional bonds appeared to endure. Despite his best attempts to move on, Scrappy was unable to get Bambi out of his head. He had done everything, including trying to divert himself with his fast-paced lifestyle, surrounding himself with friends, and losing himself in music. But it didn't work. He felt unable to leave the emptiness that Bambi had left behind. He was unable to steer clear of the topic of his heartbreak, even when he was interviewed about his music. He would sidestep inquiries and attempt to refocus attention on his work, but occasionally a lapse in his tone or a delay before responding revealed the truth: he wasn't over her. Nevertheless, Bambi appeared to flourish while Scrappy struggled. Her commercial endeavors were flourishing, and she was evolving beyond her role as Lil Scrappy's ex. She was making her own definition of herself. Although she had always been resilient, she was now demonstrating her full strength to the world. Those closest to her realized that the split hadn't been simple, despite her outward calmness. She had loved Scrappy dearly, and she had not made the decision to leave someone she had spent her entire life with lightly. Bambi, however, decided to keep her suffering private, in contrast to Scrappy, who wasn't afraid to show his feelings. Even though she didn't say anything, there were times when it seemed like she was thinking back on the past. Some things are meant to teach us, not to stay with us. While it wasn't specifically about Scrappy, fans instantly made assumptions as she shared the cryptic statement on Instagram in a rare moment. Was she referring to their romance? Was she at last taking action on everything that had been going on? The article received a ton of comments, some of which commended her for persevering and moving on, while others urged her to give Scrappy another try. But Bambi remained silent as usual. Perhaps what most irritated people was that she didn't feel the need to defend herself. But Scrappy didn't stop fighting for her. He made the surprising decision to go live on Instagram one evening. He addressed directly to his followers while sitting in a dimly lit area and appeared more vulnerable than ever. "Y'all, I know I've covered a lot of ground and said a lot, but I just have to reiterate this. I love that woman. I realize I made a mistake. I'm not sure whether she would ever forgive me, but I had to tell her. Bambi, if you ever hear this, know that you will always have a place in my heart." There was a little period of silence before he concluded the live stream because his voice cracked a little at the conclusion. The internet went viral. The video snippets quickly went viral on social media. Supporters argued over whether Bambi ought to reply, if this was just another desperate moment, or whether Scrappy's words were actually meant. Still, Bambi said nothing. As more time went by, the public's interest in their relationship gradually waned. The focus eventually shifted to other celebrity issues, and the fervor of the rumors about Scrappy and Bambi began to fade. Tenacious, clinging to hope, and concentrating on his music while drawing inspiration from his suffering. He released a tune that made fans think of Bambi right away. A man who had lost the love of his life and was unsure about how to move on was depicted in the honest, emotionally charged lyrics. "I can't lie, girl, I miss what we had. You were once my queen and my ride or die, but now I'm just a memory and a bystander. I see you shining and doing well, and I'm not angry." For admirers who had been following their romance from the start, the song struck a chord. It was an admission, a parting message encased in music. But even as Scrappy put his heart into his music, they both continued to live their lives. Bambi continued to expand her business while moving farther away from the specter of her previous partnership. She didn't have to speak in public because her deeds were more powerful than words. Months became years, and the question that had previously occupied so many people started to become irrelevant. Was there any chance that Scrappy and Bambi would reunite? In actuality, nobody knew. At times, it appeared plausible, fortuitous meetings at professional gatherings, lingering looks captured on video, and the odd social media like. Neither of them, however, ever provided any confirmation. Maybe it had really ended, or maybe their love story was just waiting for the appropriate time to be rebuilt. But whether they were together or not, their story had made an impression. It had revealed to the world the unadulterated, unrefined aspect of love. The sorrow, the hope, the desire, and the heartache. Lil Scrappy had come to understand that love was about persevering through the difficult times as much as the enjoyable ones. Even though their heart still longs to stay, Bambi had demonstrated that sometimes leaving is the strongest thing a person can do. Their love story was memorable in its own right, even though it may not have had the happily ever after that some had hoped for. And occasionally, that's sufficient. Love is never easy, especially when it takes place in front of the world. Passion, heartache, and resiliency characterize Lil Scrappy and Bambi's journey, serving as a reminder that life's challenges can try even the strongest bonds. Their narrative was about more than simply love. It was about growing as a person, accepting responsibility for one's mistakes, and overcoming the challenge of moving on. But what are your thoughts? Is love really able to triumph over distance and treachery, or are some relationships destined to remain in the past? Would Bambi have been better off focusing on her own path, or should she have given Scrappy another chance? Tell us in the comments if you think that trust can be restored after it has been shattered, or if you think that second chances are feasible. Make sure to like and subscribe if you liked this in-depth look at their love story so you can see more about the lives of your favorite celebs.